Hey everyone, this is Jacqueline Fernandez and welcome to the Feels Good podcast.
Yes, and I am Amanda Cerny, and our guest today is a jet-setting supermodel, successful author, award-winning sought-after dietitian, and the mother of 3 very successful children, including a genius, Elon Musk, and also Tusca Musk, who has started Passion Flicks, which all of you have to check out. Amazing, amazing films. And Kimberly Musk, who I also have worked with before with Big Green, doing big things with Big Green. And she's also the cover of the New York Magazine in 2011, hit the runway for New York Fashion Week in 2016, and held 4 billboards in Times Square, which may have been a world record at the time also, and became an ambassador for CoverGirl in 2017 at age 69. She did it all while starting over in 8 different cities across 3 countries and 2 continents while raising 3 children as a single mom. Her indomitable spirit and yes, I can attitude made her a global success story in the prime of her life. Please welcome the ageless, timeless, and inspirational.
So inspirational. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for being on our show, May.
I admire both of you. I think you're working so hard and doing such great work. I love following you on Instagram.
Oh, thank you, May. No, we're just trying to be like you.
Yeah, honestly. We're just trying to copy you. We're just trying to live your life.
Yeah, that's why we want to hear all your stories so we can literally just apply it to our own lives and be where you're at today.
Where in the world are you right now? Because I know you're such a jet setter.
I'm in Los Angeles. I'm moving back to New York next year.
What?
You know, I moved to Los Angeles because Tosca had twins 7 years ago. And when so she needed me to help her, and she said, you can't go back to New York. So I had to sell the apartment and move to LA. But now she's moving to Atlanta, Georgia, because they have better tax credits for films. And then Elon moved to Texas. So I'm not going to be here alone. I don't have to be. I'll go back to New York where most of my friends are.
Oh. So you prefer New York to LA?
Yes.
You're a New York girl.
I like the East Coast too.
I have so many great friends, and I would visit them often. I mean, because I was flying to New York twice a month for work, you know, either modeling or speaking engagements. And then, of course, I did my big book launch in New York. So you think, I mean, they all thrilled I'm coming back.
But May, you've traveled so much. Where would you say is one of your favorite places to go to?
I love so many places. You know, I had a great time in China. I had a great time in India, great time in Hungary. I love London and England, you know, and then I loved Canada. Of course, I was born in Canada. The accent is because my parents moved to South Africa when I was 2. and then I moved back to Canada at 41. Yeah, because my kids wanted to go there. And so, you know, you make moves. I mean, I don't purposefully move cities, but you move a city or a country because you're getting out of a bad situation or you want to get into a more interesting or better situation. And each move is painful. I don't know how many times you've moved. Have you moved a lot?
I have.
Really? Yeah, you've done. You were based where first, Amanda?
Oh, well, mine was within the States. I'm not as like, I wish I could say it was like South Africa, Canada, but mine was just Pennsylvania, Connecticut, Iowa, New York, Florida. And then
that's still a lot.
Yeah.
But each move is traumatic because things go wrong. So you plan your move, and then the truck doesn't come, and then your things break, and then you're packing things wrong, and it happens. And then you go to the next place, the electricity doesn't work, and the taps don't work, and you know, it's each time there's drama. And
but that's so funny, maybe because you're moving again next year.
I have it so nicely planned, and of course, that a woman makes a plan is in my book even.
Yeah.
But even so, I know there's going to be delays or there's going to be changes and all sorts of things. You never, you know, I just have to.
But there's also such a thrill in it as well, right? It's also, there's something exciting about, I'm moving house. Like I've only really ever moved house. I did the major shift to India when I was about 21. And then here I've just been moving house. And next week I moved to a house, and that's like really exciting me right now.
Where did you move from?
I did. I grew up in the Middle East, so that was in Bahrain. I studied there, I schooled there, and then I did my university in Australia, in Sydney, which I loved.
Love Australia too.
I've never been.
Yes, and then I interned in Sri Lanka. That's where my father's from. So I interned there at a TV station, a youth TV station for like about a year. And then post that, it was just straight to India to do some modeling. Didn't think it would turn into acting. It did eventually turn into acting. And then I've just been here ever since. So
again, we've all moved so much.
Yes, yeah.
Now we can virtually chat and catch up and
yes. It was impossible to be able to do this before, and now all of a sudden everyone's in different parts of the world chatting away. It doesn't matter what, which country you're living in. Soon, probably what planet you'll be living in. Soon. Excitingly.
That's so
but
true.
May, you started modeling at such a young age. I mean, I know me and Amanda have also started, we started working super young, but you started modeling at around 15. So this was when you were in Canada?
No, then I was still in South Africa. I was at school. My mother's friend had a modeling school, and she gave me a free modeling course. And I said, what? I don't care. I was a science nerd, I didn't think about things like that. Although I liked fashion, I would make my own clothes because in South Africa, fashion was 6 months behind. So when I wanted to make bell-bottom pants or mini skirts, you can't buy them. So I would make it myself. And
wow.
My mom taught us how to sew, and then she sent me to pattern cutting, so I could buy a pattern and then cut it to suit the new fashion. So then I did like fashion. And then I did the modeling course. And then the next thing she says, I need you to do a runway show, and booked me for one. And then she paid me. And I'm saying, what? What? Pretty clothes and walk around. And that's when it started. But I didn't let it interfere with my studies because, of course, it was just kind of a hobby. And I would then just do the runway shows evenings or weekends. And anyway, schooling was very strict in South Africa. There's no way you take off for a modeling job. And then I went on to do a Bachelor of Science degree. And again, the modeling continued, which is so bizarre because they really weren't using models older than 18. And I was getting up to 21 already. Yeah. At 20, I won beauty competitions. Yeah.
Jeez.
So 21 was considered old at that time, modeling?
Oh, yeah, for 18. Pretty much at 18, after 18, you were considered quite old.
But now you're
72.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Did you notice a change in that mentality, though? Throughout the years, has that kind of stuck around of 21 is a little bit old for modeling. And then nowadays, do you feel that's still the same thought process?
Well, when I do runway shows, I'll be the only white-haired older model, and there'd be sometimes 150 young models, and they all want selfies with me because they all think they're getting to 20 and maybe nobody will book them again. So when they see me, then they say, oh, there's hope for us.
There is hope. Yeah, exactly. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, definitely an inspiration, and also paving the way for so many other women that, really enjoy that career and that's what they want to do, and taking off those limitations that are kind of put on them. Because I feel like a lot of agencies, even when they sign new models, the first thing they're like, all right, well, we got to get you to work because tick tock.
Yeah. we always say that. For me as well, being an actress, when I first started, it was listen, do as many films as you can, do whatever you can, because actresses have a shelf life. Have a shelf life. Yeah. And it was always if you're over 30, you can slowly start phasing out because acting's not for women over 30 years old. And, then it's, of course, you have these amazing women. I mean, there's Meryl Streep and, I mean,
Judy
not to
Dench.
say, but yes, Judy Dench, who just, they're all doing such amazing work. But like, and I do really believe, and I want to believe this as well, that the world is changing and there's so much more space for just all sorts of different just people, from different nationalities, just gender, sex, all that kind of stuff, age. But it just starts with certain people, and one of them is you for sure, Maye. I really feel like you have really set the bar for so many things and paved the way. Yes.
Well, I was saying, Tusca has her own platform called Passionflix, which is available worldwide, and she takes best-selling romance novels and makes them into movies. She made a movie where the couple fall in love and they're in their 50s, and I was so happy about that. So they all love stories, and then she does a different. It's very varied. Her movies, a gay couple, interracial couples.
I know.
A movie with all black people because the author was black, and I don't know if black is insulting in India. Or because that's what they say in South Africa, because they aren't all African American. Some of them are English. Are they African English? I don't know what they say in England. If they say that's an African English person, I don't know. You have to be very careful now with saying anything.
Of course,
you upset someone. Yeah, but the point is, I was very proud that she has this variety of actors, and there are definitely Indian actors in it too.
And she was doing that even before it was like it's so weird to call it a trend because it should be something that we always do all the time, and she's been doing it even before it was like in the news as like, and now everybody cares. Like she was showing representation for all different types of people, and kind of like paving the way, like you're paving the way yourself, and your sons are like, how did you create this? How did you do this?
Oh gosh, I just have the best kids ever. They really care about other people and care about the planet. And with Tusca's movies, by the way, it's female directors, and women get paid the same as the men. And age is not a problem, obviously, because she's putting me in as an extra this afternoon. I'm doing a shoot at a gala with her today. I don't always do that because I'm busy around the world.
Oh my gosh. In demand.
I had to have my COVID test and all that because they test there 2 times a week, for everybody gets tested for COVID. So, so it's just great. Now, the thing is, when women are ignored, or they say at 30 or 40 you're over with, who's telling you you're over with it? Because if it's a female telling you, then that's not right. Women should be supporting women of all ages. But if men are telling you, then you have to form your own company and show that women are powerful and intelligent and capable, And that's why if people are telling you're getting old for movies, then it's usually a man. And then you start your own company and you make sure that can't be
absolutely told. That is actually what a lot of people, but like right now, that is actually what quite a few actresses have had to do. And I think in Hollywood as well, like if you take a look at what Reese Witherspoon has been doing.
The best.
Yeah.
She's fantastic.
It's so inspiring because like that's exactly, I know even here it's inspired so many women to do the same thing. And they're like, you know what? Okay, if they're not making roles for us, if they've stopped making roles for us and it's just like we're kind of out of work, why don't we just do it ourselves? And quite a lot of like actresses have been doing that. It's seriously inspired me to like also think of doing something for myself and just be able to tell the stories that we want to be able to tell. Because if no one's going to be writing them for us, then we're the only ones who can actually like, make that difference and do what we can.
We should do something with Tusca.
Yes,
we should all get together and like come up with like an amazing story and tell it. We got ideas.
Great idea. Oh my goodness. Yes.
I kind of want to dive into, because I mean, you have 2 master degrees, one in dietitian.
I had lots of science degrees. So here I was this science nerd, and then I would model part-time, but I didn't tell people or anything. And then when I got married, I had 3 kids in 3 years. Don't recommend that. That's hard work. You're pretty brain dead.
Yeah.
And when I was 28, they wanted me to be model mother of the bride. So again, I did that, but I had a private practice, and I never let them. I mean, people who would come to see me for, doctors would send their patients to me for diabetes or heart disease or just eating well, losing weight mainly. And I never let them know that I'm a model. But sometimes they'd bring a magazine. Is this you? And I say, yes, I do that sometimes. Because you need to focus on the patient. You don't focus on yourself. And, I'm so fabulous. And so I supported my kids mainly as a dietitian. And then I modeled part-time. It's only when I became a supermodel that, or when I moved to New York and I did these huge TV commercials, that my modeling would get a little priority because I got paid better. Whereas before that, in Canada and South Africa, the payment was the same. So I wasn't encouraged to go to modeling, and I would make sure that my modeling job paid as well as the nutrition, as missing a day's work with my clients. So I had to calculate things.
No,
can we get some free nutrition advice from you?
Yes, well, no, it's all in my book. I follow common sense and science, because I have to follow science because I have 2 Master of Science degrees, and I have to follow what the evidence shows is the best diet. So the best diet, what they're showing, is the Mediterranean diet is number 1. The DASH diet, which is a hypertensive diet, which is similar. The flexitarian diet, and that's what I follow, which is vegetarian at home and then meat, fish, or chicken outside. And then I bring pieces back, and then I have some more because I'm not a great cook anyway. And then the Weight Watchers diet. So they just basic, eating real food, and and limiting the fried chicken, the burgers, and the desserts, which I love.
I know.
I love the sweets too.
But it doesn't even look like you have a sweet tooth. Like, you're just like in the best shape ever.
Well, I was a plus size model actually for 10 years. I gained 30 kilograms or 65 pounds. And because I just said, my fiance had gotten somebody else pregnant and moved in next door to me. And the wedding invitations were all printed and I wouldn't send them out. And so I felt very sad, and I ate my way through that one.
Oh my gosh.
I had 3 desserts at a time, and I thought, well, at some stage I'll stop gaining weight, but you actually don't stop gaining weight. If you eat like that, you gain weight.
Absolutely.
Then I was getting to 40 years old, and my cholesterol went up, and my back and my knees were hurting. And I said, well, I'm either going to go on drugs and painkillers, or else I'm going to have to eat better. And I am a dietitian. I lectured on it. I'll tell them, do what I say, don't do what I do, because I'm very funny. But
and right,
obviously,
and right, and clever.
So then I lost the weight, and I've kept it off for 30 years. And in my home, there are no sweet foods at all, because one slow day or one bad news day, which is daily, the news is always so bad, and I would finish off a box of chocolates. So I can't have it.
You're a stress eater. But
that's so great. Honestly, I know that's not a great thing, but it's so great to hear that you're like that, because I'm a stress eater as well. There's so much pressure, right, at work, and sometimes you just have a terrible day. I live alone, so for me, it's like, if there's something in my fridge, I've come back home to an empty house and I'm alone. Oh my God, help me! So I do I banned them from my house.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a big solution for everyone. You know, if you have something that you love that you pick up in the grocery store that you know is not probably the best thing for you, but you love it, you're going to eat it at some point, and then you're going to get more because you ate it, and then it's a cycle. So just like, I think that's what helped me a lot too. And I know, May, like it's not, I know vegan probably isn't meeting like the Mediterranean diet, but whenever veganism really helped me cut out a lot of the stuff that I ate way too much of, like the dairy. I was like cold turkey, no more dairy, because I was just eating like a freaking whole wedge of cheese. I would travel a lot to Europe, and every time I would go through Amsterdam, I would just get like the aged cheese and like get pounds and pounds of it, and I just eat all the time. It's so good.
But now Amanda has vegan cheese.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is good.
It like some of it's processed, so
vegan foods can be very processed, and you have to do what works for you. I had vegan patients, and they could still be obese if they ate vegan cookies and fries and drank too much wine, it wasn't that vegan made you slim, but obviously you have the formula right, but you still need to balance it well for yourself. Now, when it comes to delicious cheese, I don't have that in my fridge either. I have very plain cheese that you don't die for. I mean, bring me a brie and I'll finish off the whole
bring it on.
So I don't have it at home. But if I do go out, I can overeat a lot. And then I know I'll gain 3 pounds overnight, and I have like a week. I have to eat perfectly again to drop those 3 pounds, because otherwise it stays on you.
Yeah. And I think that balance is so good too, because it's not like to say you can never have what you crave ever in life and you're just stuck to bland things. Like in your prime example of that, you still eat what you enjoy, but in moderation. So
yes. But if you bring me a tub of ice cream, I eat the whole tub. That I can't, I have no control on that. So don't bring me any ice cream.
Well, they say it's like a drug. So
I mean, when people say they died of a drug overdose, I said, well, I would die of a chocolate overdose. Which is because it's a delicious way to go, but
that's your drug of choice.
That's mine. I mean,
chocolate.
Yeah.
The same way we trust essential workers to provide the care they give to us, our families trust us to give them a safe and protected home.
Today's episode is brought to you by Clorox. When it counts, trust Clorox. Our community heroes trust Clorox to keep places like hospitals, grocery stores disinfected. So I know I too can trust Clorox to provide my home with a safe environment at home we can all enjoy.
That is why I trust Clorox regular bleach. By mixing a 1/3 cup of Clorox regular bleach with 1 gallon of water, when used as directed on hard, non-porous surfaces, it kills 99.9% of germs and bacteria on a variety of surfaces. From our kitchen floors to counters to bathroom tubs to, of course, laundry whites.
I know I can count on Clorox disinfecting products to give myself and my family the best home we deserve. I use Clorox disinfecting products at my home to keep my floors clean, my door handles clean, and just everything clean because I got a little puppy running around.
For me, it's important to share with loved ones and the public in general how they can give the most care to their loved ones, because when it counts, trust Clorox.
Feel good.
So, May, you released a book last year. A woman makes a plan.
I thought I would show you some. The Japan cover, the Turkey cover, America.
I know.
I have all different covers.
I know.
Yes, they've been translated in so many different languages. And I keep seeing those everywhere. But every month you have a new announcement. It's been translated into this language. Been translated into this language. That's amazing. So did you do the whole tour, like the book tour with that?
Well, I can only do it virtually now. They all want it in their countries. And we did have some international tour book launches booked, and of course everything was cancelled. So it's all virtual, but we're doing a lot of interviews. I mean, sometimes it would be something like Germany in the morning and Russia at lunchtime and China in the afternoon and South Africa at night. I mean, so you can do that.
A Woman Makes a Plan. You've got into some really intimate and personal details in that book, mainly also giving encouragement to girls in abusive relationships. So, like, how deep did you have to go while you were writing that, and what was that experience like?
Well, first of all, I was told to dictate my life, and then and so that I have some advice to give from every section of my life. And so the adventures in the Kalahari Desert, that was easy. Going to study for a Bachelor of Science degree in Afrikaans, which means I had to learn a new language. That was hard, but still I did it. And then my abusive marriage, I did a chapter on that. And then after I read it, I said to the editor, please take that chapter out. But my children, Elon, Kimberly, and Tusca individually had said to me, you talk about your struggles because you've been perfect on Instagram. and people will think, oh, first of all, you're just, your life has just been easy. And so I kept that in, but I wasn't happy to keep it in because you don't like to share abuse, with anybody.
Yeah.
And my two brothers and my twin sister said, we had no idea what you were going through because we just knew we couldn't see you because you were so busy. But I was bruised, and also I wasn't allowed to see my family or any friends. And that you'll find is common in an abusive relationship. And I'm insulted every day, you're ugly, you're stupid, you're boring, that's why we have no friends. But he would insult me in public as well. And only when I ran away with the 3 kids, you run away, but you're terrified too, because he's made a lot of threats if you should ever leave. Then you run away and you find out everybody just was so happy for me. And they all, they just said, wow, we couldn't come near you because he was so insulting. And so I escaped, and I escaped with my life, with my children. And then he sued me for 9 years after that because, I'm a bad mother. And then only when I moved to Toronto could he stop suing me. And then my funds were blocked. So I had to find a rent-controlled apartment. I mean, this is all in my book. And we were happy. And people saying, why am I so happy, sleeping on the carpet with my kids in a rent-controlled apartment? And it's because he couldn't reach me there. So other women are not as fortunate as me. I was fortunate in that I had an occupation. I was a dietitian. I couldn't rely on modeling, although it continued surprisingly. So I was a dietitian, and I could do my Master of Science degrees with both of them. They had scholarships for me, so I didn't have to pay any money for it because I didn't have any money for that. And then also some men are even more vicious and will come after a woman physically and hurt them. So some women will be in a worse position than me, that they can't support their children. But I could only share what I went through. But the DMs on Instagram and on Twitter, and that when they read my book, they say, I'm in that position, I'm getting out now, or I was in that position, and I'm now inspired that life can get better.
It's crazy how sharing your story can inspire and help so many people. I'm so happy you kept that chapter in there. I'm sure you changed a lot of lives with it.
Yes, and so there is hope, but you can't have. So when people are saying to actresses that you're going to get old and you won't have any work, you got to change those people, because that's not nice. And you got to mix with nice people. You change that, and you make sure you mix with nice people, because there's many men who support women. So it's not just, but there are many men who will keep them down. And you've got to be in charge of your own life. And I think you two are doing a great job. A great job.
Thank you. Hey, that was so thank you so much for sharing that. I know it's in your book as well, but to be able to talk about it, and continuously share that, trust me, that's it's really put me into, a zone as well where, I'm sure all of us have been through some kind of trauma or just some kind of, downfall, or just like a really bad time in our lives. And when you hear it from someone who you look up to, and you're like, okay, wait, but she's also been through something like that. But look at her now, and she's just like, she's wonderful and positive and pushing through. It really just makes you, think how strong we all are. I think a lot of us forget that. We really forget our internal strength. And the day we realize it, things change. And I love people who actually speak about these things, because, I've been through certain situations in my life. And the thing is, when you don't really have someone to discuss it with, or, people are not speaking up about it, you yourself don't know what to do. Yeah. And you hide, and you don't know where to turn. But then it's like, when you actually have people making a conversation about it, you're like, okay, wait a minute, there are other people out there. And, I'm so happy that, you're actually talking about it, because it will, and it has already, but it will change so many more lives.
And to let you know that you will still go through many stages where your internal confidence is knocked out of you. You will go through it. But as you get older, which I'm saying aging is great, you've been through it, and you can see, okay, I'm in a really sad, unhappy situation. I'm being knocked down. They're trying to take away my confidence. Then you can get out of it quicker. And I mean, I stayed in bad relationships and bad situations too long, because I thought I could change people, and I thought I could make them understand that I'm a good person, I'm very talented, or I'm very intelligent, or I'm very, whatever, nice person or whatever, and they would still pull you down. So every guy I dated, I would help him with his business. I would promote, really do good things for him. And they never, there's only one guy I actually dated. He was my German boyfriend who sent me to the Goethe Institute. So, ich kann Deutsch sprechen.
Lovely.
Yeah.
Wow.
My books just come out in German. So, ich habe jetzt viel Zeit gesprochen. But I'm not great.
I love it.
No way. I'm picking up on a little bit, because Johannes is from Austria, so he speaks German. So I'm like, oh, I know that.
Yes. I know.
Also, je parle français, because I like to speak French. I studied French at school, and then I kept it going. And ek kan Afrikaans praat. I'm fluent in Afrikaans, which is very similar to Dutch, which also helped me when I studied German, because the verb is at the end of the sentence.
Mm-hmm. That's a hard language.
German?
Yeah. It's so different. But I think what's so cool is that nobody told you to learn these things. Nobody was like, oh, send May off to private school and get her educated and all these things. But you did that on your own, because you're curious. And curiosity can be a great thing. It's actually one of the best things. And you taught yourself. You found ways to learn new things. And I think that's what's always made you able to grow and get out of things and, be where you are today.
Yes, I'm terrified of boredom. So even when the lockdown happened, I said, I'm going to be watching German movies and French movies and Dutch movies, keep my languages going. But then, of course, then I got a young assistant who put me on TikTok, and then she did exercise videos with me, and then my book went international. So I have had a very busy quarantine, and I'm very excited about it. But otherwise, I don't know how I could have, kept myself going mentally,
Mm-hmm. But you also have a nonprofit. You actually have two. You have the Big Green, and you have Dress for Success, which I think is amazing.
All right. So Big Green and Amanda really was a great supporter of that, where they go to underserved schools where children don't have access to fruits and vegetables, and they have containers where the children can plant seeds. They teach them. I was teaching them to plant seeds, and then
amazing.
They water them, and then they grow the vegetables or fruit, and then they pull the carrots out of a dirt, and they get so excited about vegetables, and then they're taught how to prepare it and eat it, and then they can take home to their family and teach them about nutrition. So it was magnificent. It was 650 gardens, and Kimball, my youngest son, wanted to do 1,000 gardens, but then of course lockdown, all the schools were closed at the beginning of the year.
So no,
but you guys didn't stop. You guys didn't stop there though. Lockdown happened, and you're like, "All right, here's some at-home kits."
Oh, amazing! No, but it's so funny, Amanda. The first time I met Maye.
Wait, hold on. When did you two meet? Because
the funniest thing is, and luckily, thank God for Instagram, we were able to reconnect on Instagram. But the first time I met her, it was at this fashion event. Wait, it was Imran's.
Of course.
Yeah, it was a dinner. It was a dinner for the business of fashion. And it was in LA, and I was in LA at the time, and two of my friends, they run it. They're from Mumbai and London, and they said, "Hey, just come down for dinner." And that's when I met Maye. And Maye, I remember exactly what you were wearing. It was a beautiful purple outfit. And, you just stood out like in the crowd. And I was staring at you because I was so mesmerized. I was like, wow, she's so beautiful. And look at her outfit and that purple and her hair and her face. And then when we got introduced, they're like, oh, it's Maye Musk. And I was like, oh my God, this is so cool. And I remember we had such a lovely conversation. Like from that minute, like I was super inspired. You had no idea who I was, and but you were still giving your time to me and chatting with me and just we were discussing so many things. I remember what life is, in Mumbai, and then I didn't see Maye for like about a year. And we just, I reconnected with her on Instagram. I was just, I was like, oh, I wonder how she's doing. And then I was seeing news about your book as well. And I was like, I have to connect with her again. And then I just think social media is such an amazing thing. Me and Amanda met on Instagram. And I think it's just such a great way to like build connections and build relationships and reconnect as well. So yeah, and that's our love story.
I love it. And it's all like, obviously, Maye, you can tell we're such huge fangirls of you. Yeah. I think everything we say, we're like,
it's ridiculous. You would be fangirls of a woman in her 70s. I mean, it's just weird. But then that's what I found when I work with younger people, is that they are so, they just want to absorb everything I was saying. And they kept on saying, you've got to write a book. You've got to write a book. And then the followers on Instagram said, you've got to write a book. And that's why I wrote it. But again, I didn't really think I had a story. But people relate to different stories in my book. There's 28 little chapters.
Absolutely.
I think it's a lot of times you tell, like, you have conversations about your own life, your own story. And it's so like old news to you and you're like, oh, whatever about it. But yeah, it's surprising how impactful it can be to other people. And that's you being humble also, by the way. I mean, you've been through a lot more than a lot of people have in their own lives, but
yep.
I'm happy you're sharing it.
Good. Yeah, just that you need to try new things. You need to get into a better situation. That's why I'm moving back to New York.
I'm so excited for that content, by the way.
The
New York content. I feel like I feel like the whole look today is very New York too. I feel like you're ready.
Ready,
Yeah, you're ready for it. Well, we have a fun thing that we do. It's random fun facts.
Yes.
So we're gonna go through those really quickly.
I bet you Maye already knows all about them. She'll be like, yeah, no, that
probably.
One. Yeah.
That would be a good drinking game. How many does Maye already know? All right. Number 1, when a woman is speaking to a man she finds attractive, she naturally speaks in a higher pitch.
Ooh. I didn't know that. But now that I think about it, it's true. Well, hi, how are you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Maye's like, no, I don't do that.
I can't remember that when I found an attractive man. It has been a while, but I don't know if I went into it. I mean, but if that's what it is, then...
Yeah, but I feel like you're an exception because your accent is just so, like, soothing. and it's just like good the way it is. So
No,
you just
I
speak
think
like this
Amanda,
and-
it's the other way around. If like when a guy speaks to May, his voice becomes a higher pitch.
boom. That's what it is. That's it.
It's a reverse with me. It's a reverse.
All right,
Okay,
number
fun
two.
fact number 2. Newborn babies have a natural reflex to swim for the first 4 to 6 months of their lives. This instinct then disappears and must be retaught. Ooh, I know that babies are natural swimmers, but I didn't realize that it goes after a couple of months and then they have to relearn it.
May,
I just thought it was like,
oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I want to know, did you ever take because have you seen those videos of when people throw their babies in the pool and they just like bob back up?
No, I didn't do that. So
That's scary.
Yeah.
Apparently,
Scary.
it looks terrifying, but a lot of people do it apparently because I guess they like it just teaches if they fall in the pool, it teaches them, but it looks like traumatizing. Also, I just see those videos and I'm like, is that normal? Is that what moms do?
It looks kind of scary.
It's intense.
I didn't know about it in the time. Don't forget.
Oh yeah.
No, yeah. I don't think I had the guts to throw my kid in his pool. Even if I knew it was a swimmer, I'd be like, no, let's not do this.
It's funny how like when you're not a mom yet, you literally know close to nothing about babies and how they work. At least me. Like anytime I see my friends' kids, I'm like, oh, like, can they speak yet? And, like they're 6 months old. Like, no, they can't speak yet. I'm like, oh, okay. But
Anything.
I feel like that goes back to education though. Like you educate yourself about the things that like you need in your life at the time or that you're like aiming towards. And for me, that's kind of like my thought process when it comes to babies. Like I'll learn when I get there.
Now, the funny thing is, when I was 21, I had a job that I had to give lectures on infant feeding. And I remember giving the talk at the hospital, and the matron, the head of the nurses, she says, you haven't even had a child. What do you know? And I was following research work. And then I had my 3 kids and actually talk about what I fed them as well. And you're right. You really need to have a child before you can talk about infant feeding. If you can't just follow the science.
Yeah. See? Okay, that's good. I don't feel as bad. No, so thanks. Well, our next fun fact is the desire to eat or crunch ice can be a sign of iron deficiency.
Well, as a dietitian, it's called pica. Pica is when you eat something that's not really edible. And I didn't come across it much, and I was in private practice for 45 years with people with eating disorders. I didn't come across anyone who had pica regarding chewing ice, because if you're chewing ice, it might be to lose weight, and then you actually are not eating iron-deficient food, iron-containing foods. Again, I haven't come across that much. Have you come across that?
No, I mean, I'm sure that my iron levels, I can get them to a better place, and I never chew ice, but maybe I'm an exception. I don't know.
But that is true, actually. I think but there are some people who love just, they have this thing
my
about
dog.
Eating. Is he low in iron? Maybe we should check up on him.
Yeah. He loves ice.
With vegans, the 2 main nutrients you have to be concerned about is iron and vitamin B12. But I'm sure you're figuring that out too, because you look very healthy and happy.
Yeah, well, thank you. Yes. And I do supplement with B12 and D3 also. Like my family, for some reason, we're all just get deficient in vitamin D, which is interesting. We're in Florida. But I guess we just don't absorb it.
That's the same thing in India. Like a lot of people here do have a vitamin D deficiency as well. And we're like, where the sun is and out and about. Yeah. But it is something that's very common here. It's a very common deficiency here as well. Why
is that? That's so crazy.
When I look at the research work on vitamin D deficiencies, I find the values are different. And so I'm not very concerned about vitamin D deficiency, because if you're eating well, you're getting in all your nutrients in. They're finding that when some people who have underlying factors, like they are obese and their vitamin D is low, then there is an increased risk of certain other diseases. But the thing is, if you're eating badly, you're not going to get much vitamin D. Now, I drink milk, so that's got vitamin D. It's fortified with vitamin D, but many cereals are fortified with vitamin D too. Mm-hmm. And you can just, have fatty fish or other foods that will contain. Okay. But I don't know if the measurements they're saying is important is really. I don't know if the evidence is there yet, so I wouldn't worry, especially if in India, where you are in the sun, it would be unusual for you to have a vitamin D deficiency.
I wonder how often they change those value charts of like...
It all depends on the research, and then the research reaches the doctors, or else the doctors start believing things. They don't really study nutrition. I remember about 20 years ago, all the doctors were recommending vitamin E. Now you never hear about vitamin E, because now
so true.
Yeah. And then also, if you take a vitamin D supplement, it doesn't necessarily increase your vitamin D. It depends on the supplement, and supplements are not regulated.
Uh-huh. Well, it's so hard. That's why you need a dietitian. Because because trying to do that through a Google search, you can get a lot of
misinformation.
Yeah. Wait, we got to hire May. If one day we'll be able to get dietary.
When will that day come?
Yeah, actually today. Let's utilize it now. But our next one, let you go ahead, Jacqueline.
All right, cool. Okay, so dogs evolved puppy eyes to manipulate humans. That puppy dog look that your canine companion gives you is completely adorable, totally intentional, and something that they've developed since they've become man's best friend. In 2019, a study was there in the Proceedings of National Academy of Sciences explaining that domesticated dogs have evolved to have facial muscles around their eyes that wild wolves lack. Aww. I actually knew this. I actually saw this. Yeah, in a documentary I was watching just about the evolution and of everything, and how they just evolved from wolves, but only because when they would see these nomadic humans, they realized that humans realized that, wait a minute, if we kept these wolves or dogs around, they would actually protect us, because they would like bark and stuff if like there were other things, other animals coming. And so what they would do is, in response to that, they would like just throw some food at them. And so the dogs realized, we'd get food, but they like it if we protect them. And so they just evolved into they just wanted to always protect us. And they evolved from that. And the wild ones, like the wolves and stuff, who just didn't get it, who didn't evolve into that kind of knowledge, they just stayed wild and wolfy. And the other ones, the domesticated ones, started becoming domesticated and friendlier and friendlier and friendlier. They just realized that that's going to get us food, and that's going to help us with our survival. So they were really smart. They're a lot smarter than we think.
What type of wolf is that, May?
This one is very smart. He's a rescue, so he's a multi-steer. But of course, I call him a multi-poo, because those are expensive dogs.
Depends on the conversation.
Yeah. And he does control my life. And,
yes.
And he's been the best friend during the quarantine.
Animals are literally the best. Talk about like stress reliever. And I think this is why a lot of people got them in quarantine and gave them a home, because it's just endless love. And
I love that.
I always say, if you're not successful at dating, get a dog, because when you come home and it's late and you don't look so great, he's still happy to see you.
He's the happiest.
I mean, if you're dating someone,
they're always
what?
Yeah. Falco's whole butt just goes boom, side to side whenever I walk in the door, and just he can't control his body. He's just so happy.
Yeah.
Johannes, thank you for your time, but you're no longer needed. That's Falco. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, by the way, you'll like this, May. You guys can't. I hope he's not in here. I got. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. I got Johannes a Tesla for Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. He's
Oh my God. He's gonna love that.
Yeah, he's been wanting one forever. Okay, I'm gonna stop talking about my wanted to share it.
He's going to love it. You're going to love it.
I know.
Yes.
It's for me too.
Yeah. Amanda secretly gets it for herself. Hey, I got it for you, Johannes.
Yeah, here. Oh, I'll drive. Yeah. Oh, I gotta stop. I don't want to ruin it. All right. The next one is our last one is the heads of Easter Island have bodies. The iconic stone heads protruding from the ground on Easter Island are familiar to most, but many don't realize what lies beneath the surface. In 1919, archaeologists studying the hundreds of stone statues on the Pacific Island excavated two of the figures, revealing full torsos, which measure as high as 33 feet. Wow.
Oof, that's scary.
Our Earth is wild.
Yeah.
How it just like continues to
aliens.
Build. Yeah, for real.
Mm-hmm.
Have you watched, I forget what the documentary is. It's about the ocean and it just how deep it goes down, and it's like Mount Everest, taller than Mount Everest down there. And then there's another layer of water that's a different consistency that only other animals can live down there. It's like literal aliens.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
We have no idea what we're even like I think not even like half of what our planet has in store. We have absolutely no idea. It's just, there's so much undiscovered world that,
With that, May, will you be going to space anytime soon? Or if you have the opportunity, would you go?
Well, I don't think I'll be number one on their list. First of all, I would have to train for 2 years to be an astronaut,
Which you could.
Yeah.
Which you will.
And then I would like to go when it's kind of there's a first class and not an economy, so that I can, have a lovely living room to sit in and have a, meal served or something, but at the moment they just sit in their suits. So let's just see. And then on the other side, I would like there to be a lovely home for me. And so I think that could take a while, because they would have to, first of all, get all the equipment there, and then all the astronauts would have to be engineers and build me a lovely home. So I don't think I'm a priority on their schedule. But
especially you keep adding lovely home.
Yeah. Maybe they're gonna wait a little bit for you, but it's okay. I'll go on the trip you're on, because that sounds great.
Yeah.
There'll be 3 of us.
Yeah.
We'll be having fun.
So to wrap this up, we're just going to go into some quick questions that people inquired about you, wanting to know more about you from your fans. So what is the most important thing a woman can do to maintain a youthful appearance?
Stay out of the sun, don't smoke, eat very healthily, and be happy every morning, because a smile is the most beautiful thing.
Oh, that's beautiful. I agree. Mm-hmm. I completely agree. All right. That was lovely. Tell us something you like to do for fun, May.
Oh, I love to go to parties. I love to meet new people. I love to travel. So those are all things that have been limiting this year. And soon I hope to see both of you, and we'll all sit together to do one of these.
Oh, of course.
I would love that.
Let's go to Mumbai.
Yeah, I agree. Let's choose a city. Let it be Mumbai. Mm-hmm. You guys come here.
Done. Don't tell me
awesome.
Exactly.
What is your exercise routine, and how often do you do it?
Well, my exercise routine used to be the exercise bike, and then the weights and stretches. And then, of course, the gyms are closed. So I walk my dog 3 times a day, and but he sniffs a lot, so you really don't get much exercise. But then I watch an exercise videos like Be Moved Dance. I love they do gentle exercises. It's not like core strength things. I did that in the past, but then you start hurting yourself. So I don't allow myself to get hurt anymore. I'm not pushing myself that hard. I do follow even some fabulous dancing routines. I mean, I'm very bad at it, but it gets me moving. And then I have stretches I do on the carpet and weights.
I want to see those. I want to see those TikToks.
Some days I'm lazy. Yeah.
Can you please upload your dance routines on TikTok?
Yeah.
I would like to see those.
Okay. Yeah, my assistant now and nodding. She'll think, oh yeah, they will be funny, but
I'll send you some Bollywood choreography
there
as
you
well.
Go.
Yes, I'd love that.
You guys can do duets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will do how I do it starting, which is terrible, and then let's see if I carry on practicing if I get better.
Of course you will. Oh my gosh, we'll send you the outfit and everything to go along with it.
I mean,
yes. Yeah. I was thinking, what do I have that will look at? And lovely sari, and that I haven't got something like that.
Oh, that would look so stunning on you. Oh
this is the best idea ever. Okay, get to work on that right now, Jacqueline.
Tomorrow, first thing, done.
Yeah. You just send all of us the same outfits, and then we can all do it
and do it
and edit it together.
Okay, I'm working on this. This is my next project.
Yay. I mean, not that you don't have enough on your plate already, but just go ahead and add that to it. That'd be good.
Yeah, I don't care. This is the most important thing right now.
What was that, May?
Yeah, same outfits, same routine.
Yeah.
And then when we get together, we can do it together. But in the meantime, we'll just work on it here.
Practice.
Individually.
Practice.
Done and done. Well, thank you so much, May, for being on today and taking time out of your schedule to hang out with us. Love catching up with you both always, every single time I can. And thank you guys for listening to the Feels Good podcast. Make sure you check out May, get her book, and make sure you subscribe to her on every single platform there is. Follow her on TikTok because she has dances coming soon.
Oh, yes. Thank you, May, so much. Sending lots of love and wishes your way.
Make a plan.
Keep on doing your wonderful work, inspiring many people worldwide. That's so important.
Thank you, May. Thanks, Amanda. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Yeah.